Today on Ballistic BBQ, I'm going to be making a barbecued beef sandwich with a kind of a Southwest meets traditional Southern barbecue twist. Let's get going. So this video is the final installation of Exmark's Backyard Life campaign for me, and big shout out and thank you to Exmark. They have created a spot on their website that encompasses everything regarding backyard living. It's got tips on DIY for your backyard, hardscaping, landscaping, cooking, fishing, hunting, you name it, it's there. Check out the link below. Now let's get to cooking. Here's the real star of the show, a 3-pound tri-tip roast. It's already been trimmed. The first thing I'm going to do is make a traditional Santa Maria rub. And this is easy stuff. Equal amounts of kosher salt, garlic powder, and black pepper. It's done. I already have some of this in a container. I use this a lot. I'm just going to liberally apply this all over this roast. And there we are. I'm going to allow this to sit just a little bit, let that seasoning penetrate. Let's set up the grill. So for this cook, I'm using a 22-inch kettle. I have the charcoal basket in place, and I'm going to add 25 lit briquettes. I'm going to add a couple chunks of hickory smoking wood. Get that temperature probe in place. Get that lid on. Now I'm going to set the dampers. I'm going to go pretty tight on the lid. Like an 1/8 of an inch open there. Then I'm going to make that adjustment on that bottom damper. I'm going to close that bottom vent until it's about 1/4 of an inch open as well. Now I'm going to monitor the temperature. Once it hits my target zone, which is 240 degrees Fahrenheit to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, we'll get that roast on, actually start cooking. Okay, the temperature's kind of locked in there. It's rolling stable, about 248 degrees. Let's get this roast on. So we're going to be kicking this off. It's going to be reverse seared. So got the charcoal right here, the indirect side with no charcoal. This is where the roast is going to go. Get a temperature probe in here so we can monitor the progress of this cook. I want to get it into the center, the thickest part. Nice. Lid back on with the damper over the meat. And as far as your temperature control goes on a cooker like this, start out low, so get those dampers shut down pretty tight. And if it's too low, your temperature you're coming up with, if it kind of locks in below your target, open them up a little bit. Opposite, if it looks too high, then you need to tighten it up a little bit. But I always prefer to come in low because it's easier to heat up this charcoal than it is to cool it down once the pit gets kind of saturated with heat. Anyway, what I'm going to do is monitor the cook. We're going to be pulling this at 125 degrees Fahrenheit, then set up for a sear. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how to make a really easy red onion hatch pepper relish and a kind of a little cheat on a American Southern barbecue / Mexican barbecue sauce. I'm going to get that done right now. In this saucepan, and I will have the recipe for this down below, we're going to add some apple cider vinegar, some water, some kosher salt, and a little agave nectar. You can use honey, you can use sugar. I'm going to turn this on and get it to a simmer, bring it to a simmer. Now this is going to be for a quick pickling recipe, so this will be ready to eat in 30 minutes. But the longer it sits in the solution, the better it'll be. Now while this is coming up to a simmer, I have a mason jar here. I have some red onion, and I have some hatch chili peppers, fresh hatch chili peppers. I have right here. And what I did with these onions and the peppers is I used a mandolin, and I had the mandolin set for, the julienne setting. So like the onions, more kind of strips. And the same with the chili peppers there, little strips as well, but very, very thin. Put them in this jar here. I don't know how I'm going to do this and get it on camera, but risk life and limb. And through cinematic magic, there we are. Now this stuff's already simmering here, so let me turn this off. And I will very carefully pour this into the jar while it's still hot, the solution here. We'll get that lid on. Give it a shake. So again, 30 minutes, we're going to have pickled hatch chilies with red onion. It's going to be an awesome garnish for this sandwich we're making. Now we're going to do a total cheat hack on the barbecue sauce. Anybody that knows me knows that I love to make homemade rubs and barbecue sauces, but sometimes I just don't feel like making them homemade. I'll take shortcuts, and that's what we're going to do here, using store-bought barbecue sauce, some diced chipotle peppers and adobo seasoning, and some canned hatch chili peppers. This is mild diced chilies. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not really measuring, I'm just pouring stuff into a bowl. Pour this barbecue sauce in there. Then I'm going to add some of this, again, chipotle, which is, it's a smoked ripe jalapeno pepper is what a chipotle pepper is. So it's going to give us smokiness. And then this adobo seasoning, this adobo paste. This stuff is awesome. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. Then those canned hatch chilies. And when the hatch chili peppers are not in season, this is a great go-to. There's nothing wrong with this. And I love adding this into cornbread when I'm making cornbread. So just get that in there. Now, all right, mixed. Now let's give this a try. Exactly what I wanted. There's that nice hickory flavor, that smokiness from the chipotle, and not an overwhelming heat, but a definite warmth. I mean, right now, the whole inside of my mouth is warm, not hot, warm. And that's what I was looking for. So it's not going to take away from the, from that tri-tip. I'm doing this not so much as a recipe, but to inspire. You can take, one of your favorite barbecue sauces and make it your own. And you can incorporate flavors from all over the world into that barbecue sauce if you want. And that's what I did. I just kind of added some Southwest and some Mexican flavors to this. And now it's my barbecue sauce. This is a really kind of a cool, again, fusion barbecue sauce. And it's going to make this sandwich unbelievable. Looking at this temperature, we're at 90 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this tri-tip. It's looking good. Next stop, 125 degrees Fahrenheit. We're at around 45 minutes, and we just hit that 125 degree Fahrenheit mark. Let's check it out. Okay, let's check this out here. 125 degree Fahrenheit. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and remove the probe. Get this piece of meat off the cooker. So what I'm going to do is allow this to rest. It's going to come up a few degrees, and we're going to get this thing prepped for the sear. While that tri-tip roast was resting, I got 3/4 of a charcoal chimney ready, added that charcoal to the charcoal basket. We are ready to sear. I'm going to go about a minute on each side. Let's get that edge. All right, I'm gonna allow this to rest a little bit. Then we're gonna slice this into some thin slices and make a killer sandwich. And here's that tri-tip, all nice and rested up, smelling amazing. Let's give this a slice and see how we did. For those who maybe have never cooked a tri-tip before, the grains basically go two directions. Here on the little shorter end, they go this way, and then the longer end here, they go more this way. I always cut my tri-tip in half and then slice them as separate pieces. So they go right here. See how we did. Here's a nice medium rare. This is beautiful. Now let's make a sandwich. So again, this recipe is kind of like Southern American barbecue colliding with Mexican food. Got to go with a bolillo roll. I'm going to go ahead and toast this up. This is hot, so I'm going to be very, very careful with this. It's going to happen fast. That's all it took. First things first, let's pile on this beautiful barbecue tri-tip. Now that barbecue sauce, the onion hatch chili relish, and crown the sandwich. That looks amazing. Lay down a little garnish of hatch chili. All right, let's give this a try. These bolillo, these rolls are soft. There we are. Cheers. This sandwich has everything. It's tangy, it's smoky, it's got a little bit of warmth, perfect amount of warmth. That barbecue sauce is so good. The chipotle is coming through. The sweetness of that kind of Southern barbecue style sauce is coming through again, meshing perfectly, kind of balancing each other out. The relish, its acidity is, you know, cutting through that really rich barbecue sauce, but it's also adding a texture, and it's good. Again, not too hot. Those bolillo rolls, I just love them. They're so soft. And that tri-tip, perfect choice for this sandwich. It's got that really nice, strong, beefy flavor, yet it's very tender, not too expensive, and very easy to cook. Wow, I'm very happy with the sandwich. Anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you check out the links I have below for Exmark's Backyard Life campaign. I will see you on the next video. Cheers.